part of our main goal as a group, we have a saying from Muhammad Ali: a man who sees the world at 50 the same as he did at age 20 has wasted 30 years of his life. That quote is like significant to the work that we're trying to do. So our whole purpose is to develop the minds of men so they don't have to stay in that arrested development state, to let them know that they can liberate themselves by not holding on to those traditional themes of manhood. We're not saying that all elements of traditional masculinity is bad, but the problematic ones we want to address and say, for instance, our group is what we call modern day Renaissance men. That yes, we can like sports, but also at the same time care for women and care about being non-violent.
Stop the violence.
This is like our second annual Men Against Violence Week. We started last year, and it was like just a small grassroots effort to raise awareness. This year, we're trying to do more of like implementation of the advocacy part, where we're asking men to actually step up and own this issue and to take onus in this issue and to go out and address other men. Women have been on the front line forever. It's time for men to step up and take a proactive step. So this week is just about doing proactive things as men to address other men in the issue of ending violence against women, children, and men. When we look at the issue of violence, the way violence has been set up, and it's because of the absence of men. It's been set up from what we call this reactionary response. And usually the reactionary response is been led by women, of course, because women are disproportionately suffer from violence. And when we look at men commit over 98% of violence. So what we're trying to do is kind of shift our focus and our way of thinking about this issue from a proactive prevention method, meaning that it's going to take men to ally and join with women in this fight, where men can no longer sit on the sideline as bystanders. And we really are addressing like the good men who stay in silence, because we know it's a small disproportionate amount of men who actually commit violence. We want those good men to create an environment where that's frowned upon so the bad guys can't thrive.
How many of you men have witnessed a mother, a sister, or any female who's been a close acquaintance of yours or family been abused any type of way?
We're taking some of the PMM members and we're going to a local middle school to talk about bullying and talk about relationship violence there. And it'll be 2 sessions, one for the young men and one for the young women.
All right, your friends aren't always going to listen, and some of your friends are going to, say, oh, I'm going to go do drugs, or I'm going to beat up my girlfriend, all that kind of stuff. But it's Cornelius' responsibility, it's your responsibility, it's your responsibility, it's your responsibility to talk to your friends and to tell your friends and to let your friends know what side of the fence you stand on. Whether you're going to start on, this, like, immature boy side, or if you're going to say, like, hey, come over and hang with us, and we're young, and we're intelligent men, and we're going to do the right thing. Okay, but if you don't articulate that, your friends don't know those options are there.
How many of you have heard about the Chris Brown and Rihanna?
Everybody said that Chris Brown was a punk, but I think you are a punk too if you are someone who is bullying another man. Okay, let's talk about that. Have you all looked at the news of the young man that was your age? He killed himself in Georgia last week. Did you all see that? Young man, he was playing football and he killed himself. You know why he killed himself? Because his friends was bullying him. He actually went home and committed suicide. Because that's sad. Now let's put this here. Okay, all it would have took is like a couple of the guys, a couple of you, this table here, to stand up to the fellas that was bullying him and say, hey man, that's not cool. It's not cool to do that. But because he was isolated and bullied, he actually went home and killed himself at your age. All that life he had to live. So again, fellas, we can't just pay attention to how Chris Brown, we have to look at how we treat each other. Respect. What is respect to you all? What does respect look like? Yes, sir.
What do you want?
give respect to get respect. Say that again. Say it loud. Everybody over here, let's listen. Say that again. You have to give.
What we really like the young people to take away from this is to have this conversation year round. You know, it's not going to end with just this 1 week. This 1 week is to bring a focus to it, but we want them to take these ideas and these concepts and these strategies that we've talked about all week and apply them to their everyday life in small ways.